Some days everything just conspires against you. There's no matter what you try to do. Right now the wind just it's just ripping. I mean, it's probably doing 30 miles an hour at least. Right? And then the shed, I mean, not only is it a light sieve, but it's a wind sieve, and the torch, I can't keep that sucker lit or nothing. Yeah, things looked up a little bit today. I actually got a chance to go down and do some, kind of like, legit work. Right? You know what I'm saying? Teresa's daughter's guy, Cody, he works for one of the local kingpin guys over here. Right? Dude owns the trash company, you know what I'm saying, that has the trash trucks. He drives around Sallyville and over here to Sneed Courts and, up the valley and over there. You know what I'm saying? And they get people's trash. Right? Well, one of their guys quit or got fired. It depends on who you talk to. Right? Cody been on vacation all week with Tasha. They took the kids and went up to Cali somewhere for a week. Right? And, so they came back this week and their guy short. But plus they got Tony, one of the guys out of the shop, riding the truck to go make it work. So, so they called me last night and asked me I wanted to go. I said, yeah, I'll go. Shit, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, putting in 6.5 hours a day. I'm driving for, I drove the trash truck around Sallyville. That's what I did. You know what I'm saying? Getting used to the truck. It's an old truck, right? It's an old GMC Sierra. It's the same thing as a Chevy C50. But this one's got an 8-point-something, liter diesel motor in it. It's got automatic transmission. It's really slow. It's governed about 50-something miles an hour. Right? It's got an old school, trash dump bed on it, with the round scooper thing. PTO drive. Right? So it wasn't too bad. It was alright. But after that, we got up like about 1. Right, I came home, catch up on my chores and all that stuff. Figured I'd go out to the shed, practice my welding. Before all that, I got home, I remember, wait a minute, hey man, we still got one more beer from when we was up in the county the other day. I snagged me a beer. Yeah, beer 30! Right? That was the first thing that went. Actually, the first thing that went wrong was I broke my last cigarette. Then the beer, right? I poured it all out. The sand had it all nice. I took a slurp. I had it sitting right here on the table, all nice shiny. I was going to do a beer review, right? Then heck no. I turned around, looked this way, looked that way. There was a big wind gust, blew a bunch of stuff in the window. Boom! There went my beer, right? Bang. And it wasn't even my beer. It was Teresa's. It was the last one was hers, and I broke it. I cracked it open anyway. Well, so that was the second thing went wrong. I'm like, oh, what the, well, okay. And then so I figured, well, I'd smoke bomb. Alright? So I got drooling around looking about this bottle and that bottle and my other bottle, and I'm like, I got no weed, man. Mochi's bottle's empty. I'm like, oh, man. Right, that's 3. Alright, it's all good. Just about that time, Teresa pulled up in the car because she was over at Tasha's house or Dar's house, babysitting the kid, right, while Tasha went into work. She popped in. I'm like, hey, Teresa, man, hook up a bowl. I told her about the beer. She's like, oh, it's okay. So she gave me a bowl, smoke a bowl, blah, 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 blah. They took off, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, I got buzz, you know what I'm saying? Got some cold water. Let's go over to the shed and do some welding. Yeah. Huh? So got over there, got everything all set up, you know what I'm saying? Turned, open up the bottle, set the regulators, everything, right? And then switched the tip out because I had a number 2, right? And the dude I was watching on the videos here on YouTube, for some reason my camera is acting real slow. Maybe it's because Panda's compressing a video. Anyways, I changed the tip out to 0. Right. I'm saying, found my 2 pieces of practice steel, got out my MIG wire, because I've been using MIG wire, I can't use the MIG welder, and I got all these extra pieces of, cut wire, right? So, and it works, right? So I've got my MIG wire, straightened the piece out, and lit it up, you know what I'm saying? Right? My practice pieces it's a weird combination. It's a piece of chrome steel, it was a turn signal housing for the old Honda bike that was laying in the dirt, and a piece of square tubing. Right? I'm saying probably not the best mix to begin with, right? But you know, they heat, you know, they puddle, you know, about the same time, right? So that's, you know, that's what I was trying to do. I was trying to practice building, you know, melting the puddle first. You know what I'm saying? You know, kind of like fusion welding. You know what I'm saying? But adding a little bit of what, because I'm using wire, adding a little bit of wire in. You know what I'm saying? Right? And the first one, you know, you know, the wind was blowing. I was having a hard time. I had to find the right spot. You know what I'm saying? But I finally got it. I got, you know, like about, you know, about an inch and a half, inch 3/4 weld. You know what I'm saying? Between the chrome steel and the core tubing. Right? I, you know, hooked it up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, cooled it up. I carried it over to the vise, clamped her down, one hand with a sledgehammer, bing, cracked right off. I'd gotten enough penetration, and it was a good solid weld in the middle, 3/4 of an inch, but the half inch on either side, I didn't get enough penetration. So when I hit it with the hammer, it actually broke the metal off. So the weld was good, it's just that I didn't get enough penetration on the ends, right? That's why you practice, right? But anyways, so I'm like, well, that's kind of halfway good. You know what I'm saying? You know, but I was like, you know, okay, so this is all good. So I figured, you know, I'll sit down, take a break for a minute. I smoke it, I have my bowl. I light it up again, put it up again. Give it a go the second time, right? About the same bit. You know what I'm saying? So, but at least the weld in the center was longer. You know what I'm saying? So I'm catching the flow of it. See, because I'm trying to weld, right, a round piece to a square piece. You know, the hardest thing there is to do. Right? That's stuff like that makes you better. Right? You know what I'm saying? The reason for this is because when I get to welding the frame back together, I'm welding two round pieces, right, at angles. Remember, right? You know what I'm saying? So I need to practice running the bead, right? You know what I'm saying? Down and around, right? Because it ain't gonna go up unless I get the MIG welder going, right? And I don't know if that's gonna happen until I get a little bit of money because I need a contact tip. Anybody out there with an extra contact tip for an Auto Arc 255 MIG, I would dearly appreciate it if you let me know, right? So the wind started blowing. It really started blowing. I'm like, man, I can't keep the torch lit. So I'm like, well, I'm trying to figure out why. You know what I'm saying? You know, and then I remember. Then it occurred to me, right? Wait a minute. And so I got the regulator set wrong because that's the regulator set for a number 2 tip. You know what I'm saying? Which is like between, you know, like 14 and 18 psi, right, on the settling. You know what I'm saying? And like around 10 or 12 on the oxygen. You know what I'm saying? Right, but I switched it to a 00. You know what I'm saying? So it was too much pressure, right? So you know, that was probably the main reason why I couldn't keep it lit. You know what I'm saying? You would think it would get just rage, but it won't. The smaller the tip, you know what I'm saying? Right? It's pressure. It's welding. Right? So yeah, plus it's getting, you know, pretty late in the day. It's like 6 o'clock. The sun's behind a bunch of clouds. It's getting dark in the shop. Can't see. Some days it goes like that. Some days everything conspires against you. It does. Well, you got to take it with a grain of salt. You just got to, you know, chuck it down some water. Right? Smoke bomber if you got one. I don't know if we got one. So anyway, this is me, Brian. Well, hey, you never know. I might get a job out of the whole deal. Right? And Sam, because, you know, it doesn't look like, you know, right? And plus, you know, one of the regular kids that works there, you know, for him, you know, he lives in Tonopah, and, you know, he doesn't always make it work because he didn't have any gas money. Are you serious? You got a job. How do you not have gas money?